Tony D and Little Joan with Screenwriter's Rant on Farzar, a new cartoon from Netflix, which has a voice actor I really like. It looks a little too over the top, but maybe it's okay. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 9 now available at Amazon.com. So it looks a little bit. I mean, they even make the joke in the show. Is it more like Futurama or Rick and Morty? It's kind of like a really dirty version of Futurama, I think. Maybe with some fantasy elements mixed in. So it's about some space planet with robots and stuff. But it's really, really dirty. It's really, really dirty. I don't know if doing... It seems to curse unnecessarily throughout. But Dana Snyder, the voice of Master Shake, does the voice of the lead villain. I don't know what his name is. And that's a problem too. Like, I know the name of the planet, but I don't know the names of any of the characters. And there's a lot of weird stuff going on. There's a lot of guys, I think, from Paradise PD and what was that Tosh.0 show? I think they were after they did the Tosh.0 cartoon, they moved to Paradise PD, and now I guess they're making this show. So this is the son of the Emperor, who's this guy, and he's not good. He's got to take over, and he's pathetically terrible. And then there's a lot of real sexual stuff. But there's a lot of cursing. A lot of weird cursing going on. This is a weird cyborg girl. I don't know. I don't know about the show. It could be good. It's a little over the top. It's a little too blatant in a lot of ways with some of the jokes. July 15th. But I mean, if you already got Netflix, I mean, maybe give it a shot. I think you can go too far with the vulgarity that it overshadows the comedy, right? You can't, and this is something me and my cohort struggled with for years. Like, there's like a line there of sensibility. I'm not sure where it is. If I did, then, I'd be right on it. Using vulgarity and comedy can be really, really funny. One of the funniest moments, I don't know, in the Transformers was when in the movie, for the first time, one of the Transformers cursed. It just comes out of nowhere, like, oh, S. So that's kind of funny, and there are moments like that in movies and TV shows that do work. When South Park did the big episode about cursing, that was kind of funny. They did like a little counter. This is way more casual than that. I don't know if it's really adding to the humor. Because when you come right out the gate, you're like way up here with the comedy. And you got to go higher. You want to start down here. I think you probably wanted to start with at least one or two characters that were not that outrageous, at least in the beginning. If you look at a show like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the show starts out very normal, I'll say, for a sitcom. Like, Sweet D is the conscience of the guys at first. She's very normal and constantly telling them, oh, guys, don't do that. At least in the first season. But by, I don't know, the third or fourth season, D is she's just as bad, if not worse, which is a funny transformation to see. That's the problem I see with this show. There's almost no way they're going to transform to something even worse. I mean, if you're already doing degenerate sexual stuff in the first episode, where do you have to go? And let me see if I can get that still again. This is a scene where they chase one of the characters into what he thinks is a cave, but it turns out it's a giant alien, and that's his butthole that closes in on him. And he's enjoying it. So if you're going for that joke already, like, where do you have to go with this character? I mean, not that this alien is a regular character, but I mean, once a character's run into an alien butthole, then where do you go? I mean, there's nothing much more gross than that, right? You already have a weird situation where you have this, young virile guy married to this incredibly old woman, and then I guess this is his son, or her son maybe, who can't take over. I mean, this is going to be a series. Yeah, I don't know if you can make it a series. It would have been a fun movie. If you're going to go that high, it should be a movie. I mean, it just seems like you're giving there's so much outrageous stuff right out the gate. I think it's too much. And I love Dana Snyder, so I'll probably watch at least an episode or two. I don't know. I don't see how you can achieve a balance with that much cursing and that much vulgarity right out the gate. You got to kind of ramp it up over the course of several episodes. In fact, I think the first episode in a series like this, you want to make not normal, but relatively clean. You want to definitely have some outrageous comedy, and then build up to it over the course of the first season. And then, by the end of the first season, sure, maybe you're pretty far up there. But, I don't know, it seems like you're ramping it up too quick, too fast. Now, maybe that's the point. Maybe they don't expect to do season 2 and 3 and 4. Maybe they're going to do 1, maybe 2 seasons, and that's it. Okay, sure. I guess ramp it up, but and I'm just down for anything with Master Shake, and he doesn't sound like he's doing a different voice. He is very funny, so his delivery alone as Master Shake is almost worth tuning in for. So I'll probably watch it, but after a while of dropping F-bombs, you're kind of numb to it. You won't even hear them, and so it kind of takes the punch out of it. So now the plot is kind of all over the place. Can't really do a 3-act breakdown, but the basic story is the guy on the left saved the planet. He married the old, decrepit queen to take over the planet, and now he's training her son to take his place because he's getting older. It's kind of it. And then I think it's mostly about the character on the right screwing everything up, screwing up the legacy, and Dana Snyder's character coming back to try to retake the planet again. And then this guy trying to struggle to do what his father did, adopted or whatever. I don't know if he's his real father. It's called Farzar. I mean, it's not a bad title. And then you got a weird scientist character who's broken. See, the thing about Futurama, and one of the reasons it's so great, is because it takes place in New York, number one, New York. And so there's some grounded reality to it, And Fry's character, because he's from our time, you can kind of relate to him. So anything weird, any questions you have, you can funnel them through Fry and figure things out. And you can see the world through Fry, and that's fun. This doesn't have that character, so already you're kind of going to be in a struggle to make people relate. It just seems to be, kind of like Family Guy going for the joke. Maybe it's more like He-Man, because you got a kind of a Castle Grayskull thing going on here. And that's not bad. Yeah, see, it says number one son. I mean, there's some good details here. I want to like the show. I really do. But, man, the trailer's just, it's kind of like too much. I would have kept out the cursing. Even in the trailer. Just keep it out. It was zany enough without all the F-bombs. It seems unnecessarily harsh. and you're cutting out, you kind of want to be a little bit subversive with something like this. So you kind of want kids to, not real little kids, obviously, but teenagers would tune into this. Now, most family members I've seen, like when I'm promoting the Pineys, which has some cursing in it, probably more in the first book than any of the others, but people ask me what age is it for, and I say, well, there's some cursing in it. You kind of got to make up your own mind. I would rank it around PG-13, but it's not a kid's book. I want everybody to read it, so I'm trying not to get too trapped into that pigeonholing. But that being said, there it seems to be a non-issue for the most part. Language seems to be a real non-issue. Now, there are other elements within my story that maybe would piss people off or go, oh, God, this is totally inappropriate. I don't know. It kind of depends on each person's sensibilities. And it's kind of the same thing with this, but at some level you kind of want, this isn't aimed at mostly adults. I don't think it really is. That's a very tiny audience, even though you got Snyder in there, and the stoners will definitely tune in for him. It's a show that probably should be aimed at definitely a younger crowd, I don't know if the younger crowd's going to sign on for this right now. Maybe to some extent, because there is a lot of outrageous humor in it, but I don't know if it really speaks to them, because the milieu is more like He-Man, kind of a He-Man parody, kind of a Futurama thing. So like maybe Star Wars if you stretched it. I don't know if that's a young crowd anymore. It feels more like an older crowd that, looking back on better days. It feels like a parody of stuff that would it be for an older demo, not really a current demo. But I am going to tune in for it. But is it good? I think it'll be watchable. I mean, it depends on what you like. Like, if you like outrageous comedies, I think it'll probably be pretty funny on the mark for the most part. I think it's going to be sort of like Family Guy in the early days. Not in the early days. Maybe like the, middle seasons before they went woke, but after they dropped story, where it's just joke after joke after joke after joke. So it'll be a good sort of like tune in, tune out stoner comedy, essentially. But I don't think it's going to have much legs, I don't think it's going to have the legs. Maybe they go with season 2, maybe even 3, but like it'll be the sort of show nobody really pays attention to. People tune in and out. They'll try to be outrageous, but there won't be enough of a story for the outrage to really hit. It'll just be crazy stoner jokes over and over again until they're just, they just give up the ghost and nobody's watching it anymore. It's just the textbook example probably of a stupid cartoon. All right, so that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. This drops on Netflix when? Get the date again. July 15th. So yeah, if you're getting real high and need to watch something, probably watch this. But probably don't get high. Anyhow, we F-bomb. I hope I don't get flagged, YouTube. That's not my trailer. This is already on YouTube, so I don't see how I can get flagged for that. But you never know with YouTube. Anyhow, check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble. We'll see you in the next one.